I need a link to the Tim Walz speech, I guess. This is it? It's just 8 minutes or whatever? You did 2?
You're seeking to take advantage. For the last several years, I have to tell you, well, good morning, everyone, and Happy New Year. Like many Minnesotans, I have to tell you, I was glad to turn the page on 2025. It was an extraordinarily difficult year for our state, and it ended on a particularly sour note. For the last several years, an organized group of criminals have sought to take advantage of this state's generosity. And even as we make progress in the fight against the fraudsters, we now see an organized group of political actors seeking to take advantage of a crisis. I don't want to mince words here. Donald Trump and his allies in Washington and in St. Paul and online want to make our state a colder, meaner place. They want to poison our people against each other by attacking our neighbors. And ultimately, they want to take away much of what makes Minnesota the best place in the country to raise a family. They've already begun trying to withhold funds that were meant to help families afford child care, and they have no intention of stopping there. Make no mistake, we should be concerned about fraud in our state government. We cannot effectively deliver programs and services if we can't earn the public's trust. That's why over the past few years, we've made systemic changes in the way we do business. We've gone to the legislature time and time again to get more tools to combat fraud. We fired people who weren't doing their jobs. We've seen people go to jail for stealing from our state. We've cut off whole streams of funding in partnership with the federal government, where we saw widespread criminal activity. We put new locks on the doors of our remaining programs, and we've hired a new head of program integrity to make sure that those locks can't be broken. All across this state, Minnesotans are hard at work on this problem. Advocates, administrators, investigators are on the front lines defending the integrity of our state's programs, and I want to give a very heartfelt thank you to all of them. There is more to do. A single taxpayer dollar wasted on fraud should be intolerable. And while there's a role to play for everyone, from the legislature to prosecutors to insurance companies to local and county government, the buck does stop with me. My administration has been taking fast, decisive action to solve this crisis. We'll win the fight against the fraudsters. But the political gamesmanship we're seeing from Republicans is only making that fight harder. We've got Republicans here in the state legislature playing hide and seek with potential whistleblowers. We've got conspiracy theorist right-wing YouTubers breaking into our daycares, demanding access to our children. We've got the President of the United States demonizing our Somali neighbors and wrongfully confiscating funds that Minnesotans rely on. It's disgusting and it's dangerous. Republicans are playing politics with the future of the state. It's shameful. And I've said it before, and I will continue to say it. We welcome ideas from anyone, in any party, from any walk of life, who wants to help us continue to stay ahead of these criminals. And we welcome the involvement of the federal government. I am grateful to the career professionals at the U.S. Attorney's Office and the FBI who have been helping us fight this fight for years. But I cannot abide the actions of the political leadership in Washington. These opportunists are willing to hurt our people to score cheap points. They and their allies have no intention of helping us solve this problem, and every intention of trying to profit off of it. Which brings me to this. 2026 is an election year. Election years have a way of ramping up the politics at a time when we simply can't afford more of that in Minnesota. In September, I announced that I would seek a historic third term as Minnesota's governor, and I have every confidence that if I gave it my all, we would win the race. But as I reflect on this moment with my family and my team over the holidays, I came to the conclusion that I can't give a political campaign my all. Every minute that I spend defending my own political interest would be a minute I can't spend defending the people of Minnesota against the criminals who prey on our generosity and the cynics who want to prey on our differences. So I've decided to step out of this race, and I'll let others worry about the election while I focus on the work that's in front of me for the next year. I'm passing on this race with zero sadness and zero regret. I did not run for this job to have the job. I ran for the job to do the job. Minnesota faces enormous challenges this year, and I refuse to spend a single minute doing anything other than rising to meet this moment. Minnesota has always come first and always will. That's what I believe servant leadership demands of me. As an optimist, I'll hold out some hope that my friends on the other side of the aisle will consider what servant leadership demands of them in the moment. We can work together to combat against the criminals. We can work together to rebuild the public's trust and make our state stronger. But make no mistake about it, if Republicans continue down the path of abusing power, smearing entire communities, and running their own fraudulent game at the expense of Minnesotans, I will fight back with everything that I have. I'm absolutely confident a Democratic and a DFLer will hold this seat come November. I'm confident that I'll find ways to contribute to the state that I love long after next January. But there'll be time to worry about all that later. Today, I'm proud of the work we've done to make Minnesota America's best place to live and raise kids. From our new paid leave policy to our child tax credit to our school lunch programs feeding every single child. And I'm doubly proud of the incredible team we put together to make this vision a reality. I want to take a moment to thank every member of my staff
Yeah, I feel like him quitting like legitimizes every crazy thing that's been said over the past, I guess, month or two or whatever. I don't even know if it's been that long. I don't know about that.
Clients tell us that we give and provide the highest level of service. And that's why we're intentionally supportive of the Pay Time Leave Act that was written.
I'm incredibly proud over a week of watching this happen. I think it needs to be stated. We're joined here. A special thank you to Reps Frazier and Mann, the authors of this in the House and the Senate. This is one of the most transformational.
Actually, yeah, it's probably been like half a month, actually. Yeah.
Pieces of legislation that Minnesota has passed in decades. An entire career would go by, a successful career, with not doing something like this. These two leaders made that happen, and for me and the people of Minnesota, thank you. We have Rep. Sensamira, and I think we're going to be joined by Senator Mohammed, who were instrumental in helping us get this done, helping build the coalition to make this happen. We're implementing the program. We built a modern system around it. It is secure, and we've got the support lines. Hundreds of meetings with the team that was there in outreach to employers of ways to make this happen. We have done countless checks on.
Why does this legitimize anything? Please specify some reasons. Why don't it doesn't actually... It doesn't validate like the truthfulness behind any claims, but I think it makes it look like all the Republicans now are doing a celebratory march because I think that they exposed all the daycare fraud and got them out.
On this, and a few weeks ago, as we started to soft launch this thing forward, we did the checks and balance, the go, no goes, and I just have to tell you, I express my deep gratitude. You've got some of those folks here in the back of the room, an incredible amount of work doing this really important work against a backdrop of making sure that program integrity was of utmost importance, and so I'm incredibly grateful for that. This has helped families succeed. This provides security to Minnesotans. It makes us a destination state for both employers and employees. Strengthens what we know needs to happen in communities, and I just have to tell you, I'm incredibly proud of it.
I mean, the Hortmans were assassinated. I can understand getting tired of it, and I can imagine he'll still run for some other office. My prediction would be he's done politically. You're resigning at the end of what is like a scandal. He's going to come back politically and run for some other office? Oh, I could be wrong, but that seems bad to me.
We've done a lot of work to make it happen.
Or he's not resigning, but he's canceling his re-election thing.
All about, as you hear here, families, so that parents can bond with their children. It is stunning to me that there are about 3 countries in the world that don't have this. It is an absolute travesty that there are states in this country that don't have the capacity to pay family medical leave. So I would tell all of those states out there. And
Kevin, president of the Seward Civic. So,
This
guys, don't think about what it means.
when we passed it, we know that those programs are out there. I don't think that got reported, but there was an analysis done on the states across.
For leave, and so payroll data, et cetera.
Look, we'll put these things in. We've known this has been out there, and I think you heard Commissioner Verlick say that. Deed runs the unemployment insurance, too. We know that those programs are out there. I don't think that got reported, but there was an analysis done on the states across the country on unemployment insurance. I think Iowa and Minnesota were 1 and 2 and the most secure. So there's a lot of safeguards in place, and we'll continue to deliver that. And I said, I told you yesterday, and I'll continue to say it. I will be there to make sure. Tim O'Malley and our team over there on program integrity, BCA, we have more tools that will continue to do this. The buck stops with me on this, and that is absolutely true. But I want to be very clear on this, too. If the buck stops with me on when there's problems, the buck stops with me on successes. Not a single Republican supported this. So every Minnesotan from here on forward, whoever uses this program, there is no bit of thanks that would go to the Republican legislators who did all they could to stop this. So I will take full responsibility. We have safeguards in place. We'll do that. But I think the report on this is, as you're hearing the stories here, I'll take some credit for that because we put this program in place. We got it done.
Every time I visit my family, I scroll through your TikTok and Adam's secretly on my mom's phone, slowly fucking the algorithm.
Implemented it. We did the work for 2.5 years, and lots of things work. Your highways get plowed. I'll take credit for that, too. The Republicans voted against my budget bill that did the work with that. Our schools have the money to pay their teachers. I'll take credit for that, too. The issue here is focusing on this, and they have every right to do so. The positive story of this is parents with their children. The Republicans' goal is to have none of those programs. And I can guarantee you one way to ensure there's no fraud, just don't do the program. Just don't do the program. And then you will look like states who rank at the bottom in every single initiative. So we have a responsibility to continue to do better on this, but I'm going to take credit when we're ranked at the top on almost every single category because of these programs. So we all know what's at stake. If you attempt to try and collect paid family and medical...
Commissioner, for the roughly 3,000 people who are already on leave, when are the payments?
To launch, and we rank leave.
Due to with the war that's being people. Senator Mohammed, good to see you. Well, thank you all for being out here. Again, really proud of this program. It is a game changer for working families. It's one more piece of that building blocks to making Minnesota the best state in the country for 2,000 people had the nation, and that's coming from the attorney. We are under the politics of this. I'm going to fight it, making sure that Minnesotans are cared for. I'm going to fight it by doing the respect that we should have for rule of law. So I just think all of you see this. It is just going to be relentless. Why 2,000 folks? What are they coming? Do they want to coordinate with us? You saw a U.S. attorney stand up, which would have been let go by any other administration, speculating about things with no factual information. That's defamation. That's coming from the attorney. We are under assault like no other time in our state's history because of a petty, vile administration that doesn't care about the well-being of Minnesotans. My job is to protect the well-being of Minnesotans. So the good news on this is Republicans are sure they're going to lose the governor's race dramatically. That's fine by me. I don't care who sits in this seat as long as it's not one of them who hurt Minnesotans. I care that it's somebody who understands and respects this office. Jim.
You just talked about the danger. Your daughter gave an interview talking a little bit about the danger. Was there any part of you, Governor, that thought when you were making this decision, did it cross your mind that not by any nature of what you've done, but just because of you being you and
Yeah.
being the target, that people's lives were in
Yes.
whether they be, so you felt that
Yes.
for Sophie Hall and other that
Yes,
just-
yes, and for our Somali community, yes. Look, I'm on the this country knows fraud in this program before it implemented was the very first meeting ahead of trying to prevent. I need the legislator to help me on prevention. It's pretty easy after the fact to say this happened. They're really good at that. They're not so good on the front end, so I think that would be good. But I just want to say again to all of you, incredibly grateful. I'm going to make note of this. I had my team verify this. I've stood in front of the press more than any governor in Minnesota history and taken more questions from the press in Minnesota history. My team has provided more data under the Data Practices Act than any governor in history. And I'm going to preview for you now and I would ask all of you for the help on this. It seems absolutely outrageous and a gap to me. The only people who aren't subject in state government to data practices are the legislature. And we've had a pedophile in the state Senate that we got no information about. We have credible accusations of one Republican representative against another Republican representative that they committed fraud. We have a requirement. They are hiding behind 11 months for me to ride you like you've never been ridden, to make sure that you're doing your job. I'm asking for your help. We need data practices with the legislature right now. You need to expect to get every one of my emails just like you have when you ask for them. Every one of my commissioners, you should be able to ask for those, which you can do, and we need to do that. Here's the thing that I'm going to ask all of you is, Republicans want to tear this state down. Republicans want to tell you it's too dangerous to walk down the streets. Republicans want to tell you there's nothing good comes out of Minneapolis, St. Paul. Republicans want to tell you everybody with brown skin is stealing money or that they're not welcome here. They want to do.
If he continues, good chance re-election is fucked completely. I think it's good of him to step down and let someone else. Really, though? I feel like this story's going to blow over in 2 weeks like everything else, and they're just going to hop to the next minority community. Republican stories come up a lot, and they control the narrative a lot, but they don't have staying power.
Do nothing to improve this state. Their idea of improving the state is being a parrot for Donald Trump, agreeing to everything that he agreed with. Well, here's what I'm going to tell you. It ain't happening. I'm not going anywhere. And you can make all your requests for me to resign over my dead body. Will that happen? I will fight this thing till the very end to make the state better. And the question that I think they need to decide is when did the guy in the White House resign? When does he take accountability for what he did? Because it isn't going to happen here in terms of us shying away from making the state better. So you'll get to see me more. The good news is on this is that I got no election to look forward to. I've been in front of you. I'll call on who I want to call on, and I'll watch what the press gets written, and we'll make sure that in this state there's full accountability for everybody. Because buck stops with me. I'm accountable for this. And because of that accountability, I'm not running for office again. But I have a year to continue to improve on a record that I think will stand up against anybody's, a record that has made Minnesota better, a record that makes people want to come here, and a record that has respected not only the dignity of people, but the idea of rule of law and camaraderie. So the one thing that I hate is anytime I get drug into being next to Donald Trump, God help me, I don't want to be judged against that guy. Judge me against an average Minnesotan going out to do their job every day and being decent to their neighbors. So thank you all, and we'll be back.
Thanks, folks. Appreciate it.
We got it. I think you would have said that you can find out for yourself.